The college football experience, Texas Tech Red Raiders 2025 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com with the promo code TCESGPN. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
This is Mike Leach, head football coach at Mississippi State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Football experience, Texas Tech Red Raiders 2025 season preview episode. Oh boy, youtube.com/the college experience. Get on over there, hit that like and subscribe button as we continue on this journey, breaking down all 136 FBS college football teams with a solo episode for each and every team in the land. And this might be, I think, if you polled some people, I think this one might be one of the ones people find most interesting because Texas Tech and Cody Campbell and company have all of a sudden, this is why I love college football, is you saw SMU do it 2 years ago and they said, you know, we want to join the ACC. We'll pay to get in that thing. We don't need any TV money. The arms race is going on right before our very eyes, and Texas Tech certainly showed up this offseason, and they just landed a 5-star offensive tackle and a 5-star wideout that will be there not this year, next year if all continues. But whoo, they're showing up major to the table. And look, it's bittersweet for me because we are Mike Leach was a friend of ours. May he rest in peace. And, it's all over the place a little bit for me with Texas Tech and the way they treated my friend. Hopefully, they've buried the hatchet with the Leach family, and they can build him a fucking statue. But this season, they are one of the teams I think they are must watch. They are must watch, I think, week in, week out. So we're going to talk all about it. Folks, if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Oh boy, Red Raiders. Big 12 Media Days were today. One of the days. Got to hear Joey McGuire talk about this team. In a way, like, I'm curious what you're going to have to say, but they kind of are the talk of the conference right now. I am joined by my co-host. He is also the host of the College Basketball Experience. When we with me, and when the season tips, we're live every single night of the season over there, just like we are over here for football. So give it up for Farmer Stafford, Austin P with the Governors, South Carolina with the Gamecocks, and West Virginia with the Mountaineers. Ryan McIntyre, aka Moneyline Mac. How are you, brother?
What is up? Yes, love Texas Tech, Big 12, West by God, Texas. Joey McGuire was talking today, but it should have been Jerry McGuire saying, "Show me the money, baby." How about the Red Raiders? Cheers.
Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight.
I mean, you're right. You are right. Shout out to the chat. We got the big Lubbock in here. Let's go. And Daquan the Great. Philly J. I mean, come be a part of the chat. Swing your sword, says John. Shout out to John in the chat. check out Mike Leach's book, Swing Your Sword. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, I mean, they gotta be like, if you had to make I feel I come in, I love all college football, like 800 teams. I can build you a case why I want to watch every single one of these teams. I'm talking NAIA, right? You could tell me, hey, Harding's still, what's going on with Harding, and I can't wait to watch Harding University. But they're still running the triple there in Arkansas. I'm all about it. So, but I think if you ask the lay fan, Mac, and I think Texas Tech would be one of like their top 10 teams to watch this year, maybe 15 teams to watch this year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that would be an accurate statement?
100%. Anytime you see a team that doesn't hide that they're going all in the way that they are, circle it, must watch. I know we say that for almost every team, but Texas Tech definitely is up there. Year 4, the Joey McGuire era. And I mean, how can you not root for this guy? I mean, he's Texas through and through. And I was listening to him today. He's just getting me fired up, man. He's an easy guy to pull for.
Yeah, he seems like a good dude, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'd love to have a beer and just bullshit about football, and then I'd order him a whiskey and then try to convince him to run the triple. But it's okay. Look, youtube.com/The College Experience. We got a slideshow going on. Jump on in. Let's talk about Joey McGuire, because I do believe he is on the hot seat right now.
We just talked him up, and then you're like, all right, he's on the hot seat.
Well, they're spending such a ridiculous amount of money that how could you not be on the hot seat? He was he's only been a college football coach these 3 years here. 8-5 and 22, 7-6 and 23, 8-5 and 24. And I like the guy, but I will say this. I'm not all the way there yet. I know he's a high school coaching legend in the state.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't get certain games out of my mind. Like, I know last night we talked about the Colorado game where Colorado came in there and beat them down last year. But I would say, like, giving up 59 to Baylor last year, and he's a defensive guy, right? And how about going to Pullman and just getting destroyed by Wazoo? How about the opener against Abilene Christian, where Abilene Christian went for 2 in overtime to win the game, didn't get it, and Texas Tech survived? I feel like Texas Tech, when they have the game circled, they show up most times, right? Like, they beat Iowa State when they were ranked, I believe, last season.
Yeah, they were undefeated in the top 10.
Yeah.
The Ames in one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the type of game they show up for. But when they're taking on Arizona and they barely get by 28-22, or like I said, Abilene Christian or Washington State, or you can go to the years prior. They remember the Wyoming game in Laramie. I know Laramie's a tough place to play, and I was on the money line that week. But my point is, it's just they lack consistency to me under Joey McGuire, and I don't. Maybe he corrects it this year, but I would say that's one issue that stands out to me year in and year out through his 3 years.
I would agree. And, if you remember, the 23 team like this had a lot of hype coming into it. They dropped the Wyoming game, which we had warned them over and over and over again, and they should have beat Oregon the next week. They led that entire game.
That was ridiculous.
But to your point, like, they drop games. They are a up and down team. They're a Big 12 team. A lot of the Big 12 teams are like Texas Tech, where it's very, very streaky. When they're supposed to be good and there's expectations, they underachieve. But when last year there wasn't as much expectations, and they had a pretty good year for the most part, winning 8 games once again. So yeah, he's gone 8-5 and 7-6 and 8-5. They need to be better than 8-5 or 7-6 this year with how much they invested.
Yeah. Shout out to GBO Farms in the chat. Hope you're doing good, brother. The offense from a season ago, and Mack Leftwich is the new OC there. The offense, pretty fire. Remember, Zach Kitley got the FAU job. 4th in the nation in scoring offense, 9th in passing offense, 61st in rush offense, charting as the 9th best offense in college football. Mac to Mac, come on in now. Mack Leftwich, I'm sure they're going to be able. Look, we'll talk about what's returning because Behren Morton, Caleb Douglas, Coy Eaakin, and one offensive lineman are back. Now you panic. You say, "What the hell's going on there?" Don't worry. Don't you worry, because they went to the portal and brought in the number 1 rated class according to 24/7. Mitch Griffiths, a backup quarterback for Wake Forest, comes in, or started some games at Wake Forest. He's going to be a backup in Lubbock. Quinten Joyner, who's penciled in to be the starting running back, comes over from USC. Reggie Virgil, a wideout that was very good for Miami, Ohio, comes in. I think he may start too. Roy Alexander from Incarnate Word. Terrence Carter from Louisiana. I think he could start too at the tight end spot. This one was big. Offensive tackle Howard let me talk to Sampson. That was a big get. Will Hados from Miami, Ohio. Cash Cleveland from Colorado. Hunter Zambrano from Illinois State in the FCS. Deep sea diving on some of these. Upton Belafont from Buffalo is a fire kicker for them last year. Mac. Can we just say that they weren't all name brand guys, but Behren Morton is back. This guy has 49 touchdowns and 22 interceptions, but I will say this dude gets injured very often. So I do think it's important that they got Mitch Griffiths from Wake Forest. I'm not sure if he's going to win the second string thing. I know they have the guy who played a little bit last season, I believe, was Hammond. Where are you at with this offense? Because Morton, when he's healthy, can put up big numbers. Coy Eaakin, 1,000 yards in his career receiving. I mean, they got some guys. They also got Hudson back, the 5-star, who flirted with going to A&M. And then I think he even went to A&M, signed the papers, and then hit the portal in the second portal because Texas Tech offered him more. When you're outbidding A&M, you have my attention. Where are you at with the offense? You think this will be more of the same? Like I feel like Texas Tech hasn't had a bad offense since like fucking like Timmy Smith in the 80s, the Redskins running back, right? Like when's the last time Texas Tech had a bad offense?
That's a great question. It's been a minute. I mean, you think about it, the Leach, Kingsbury, and now, I mean, even Tuberville. Tuberville, yeah, because Neil Brown was his offensive coordinator.
Maybe Tuberville had some shit years there.
Yeah, Neil fucked it up for you Texas Tech fans. I can relate. But yeah, I mean, Leftwich coming over from Texas State, so he's GG Kenny, and also from at IDub. Before that, I was listening to McGuire talk about it. He thinks he's going to be a future head coach as well. So I think it's more of the same. I think they're going to be explosive offensively. Maybe a little bit of a learning curve early just because it's new chemistry with the new offensive coordinator. But I mean, Morton did stay healthy last year. And if you remember 2 years ago, Shuck went down and then Morton filled in for the rest of the year. So, I mean, they're bringing in guys.
Every quarterback on their remember they had Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, and Davis Webb, I think it was. They had 3 guys that were like top two round NFL draft picks. I mean, every quarterback that goes to Texas Tech can sling it. I saw it with Leach. You're like, oh, Kingsbury's out. Oh, Graham Harrell comes in. Oh, who's this guy, Sonny Cumbie? They're all throwing for like 600 fucking yards a game.
They baby. That's what they do in West Texas. But I mean, look at that portal class. Joyner, talented guy coming from USC. The kid from IDub, Alexander, he was over 1,000-yard receiver, and then Virgil from Miami of Ohio and Carter from Louisiana were productive at the G5 level. And I mean, the big horses up front, I think that's where they really spent their money.
Yeah, offensive defensive line is where they just unloaded the fucking truck.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, very smart. So yeah, I kind of think they'll be top 25 offense. I feel very confident with that. Maybe a little regression. Let's talk about the defense. But before we do that, I want to let you know that the College Football Experience Red Raider Edition is brought to you by Circa Millions and Circa Survivor. Yes, think you know ball, then you have to enter Circa's football contest with $21 million in guaranteed prizes. There's no rake. So if the entries go above the guarantee, all the extra money will go to the prize pool. Circa Millions, you pick 5 teams against the spread each week. and in the NFL, or the Ultimate Sweat in Circa Survivor. There is also Circa Grandissimo for $100,000 there, a Survivor contest. You must register in person at Circa Sportsbook in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'll be there in 7 days. Can't wait to do it. Great excuse to book a trip to Vegas. Honey, I got to enter this contest. You want to be a millionaire? Sign up in Nevada, play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com. Use the promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. We're also brought to you by mybookie.ag. Yes, MyBookie is your place to bet on every single sport, including all those summer sports, MLB, CFL, WNBA, golf, tennis, all that action. And of course, college football and NFL futures. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations too, even outside of the States. You can easily deposit, get lightning fast payouts using crypto. So head on over to mybookie.ag. Use the promo code TCESGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Once again, terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag. Promo code TCESGPN. All right, we are back. And the defense. They were 121st in scoring defense last season. The pass defense was the third worst in all of college football, 132nd. There was 134 teams last year. 73rd in rush defense and charting at the 126th ranked defense. At what point do Texas Tech fans just get sick of being so good on offense and so shitty on defense? What would it take? To me, if I was living in Lubbock and a diehard Texas Tech fan, I'd be like, dude, I am so over us throwing 85 million passes a game and being this bad on defense. Like, what point? When is enough? When is enough? But there is a lot of room for optimism because their defensive line was not great last year. So you know what they did? They went out. Well, first they have 3 returning starters, none on the D line because they basically told them get the hell out of here, right? Jacob Rodriguez at the linebacker spot, and then 2 in the secondary with Horn and Jordan. Kicker Jack Burgess is back as well. They went out to the portal, and they did it, man. David Bailey is an awesome player, NFL radar for Stanford. They got him, and I believe they were battling with some big schools for him. Also, Texas. They outbid Texas, I believe. Romello Height was the best defensive player probably on Georgia Tech last year. They went out and bought him. Skylar Gill Howard played really well at Northern Illinois. You might remember them beating Notre Dame in Notre Dame. There's a bag of cash. Lee Hunter comes in from UCF. Anthony Holmes from Houston. I liked Holmes at Houston. I mean, they loaded up on the defensive line, man. And they also loaded up in the secondary, bringing in Amir Boyd from UTEP, Bryce Pollock from Mississippi State, Dante Belfour from Charlotte. He played really well at Charlotte. Terrion Grant from Purdue, Cole Wisniewski from North Dakota State. Okay, I think we can say that this is the official all-in team. The other ones, they were spending money, and you saw signs. But this is I would be if your defense charts anywhere even close to the 100s, this was a failed mission because you went all in here. That's why they have the number 1 pro class, is because they went out and bought every good defensive player there was in the portal almost. Mac, I'm going to say this might be the biggest jump out of anything we're talking this year. The defense has to be a lot better. Even if it's just not possible. When you add that many good players, they have to be at least in the 70s, right?
They should be top 50 with how much.
I agree. But I'm saying this is probably going to be, we're 40 teams into these previews out of 100. This might be the biggest jump of any unit we have talked about thus far.
Yeah. I mean, that defensive line that they bought, Gil Howard, Height coming over from Georgia Tech, and then the two really big names, Lee Hunter from UCF and David Bailey from Stanford. That should be a dominant unit. And then the secondary should be, they all played, they all contributed at the Power 5, Power 4 level. So this defense should be top 50, man. Shieldwood, this needs to be. You need to cut this in half from 126 to.
Which
even
would be
more.
insane. Like, I'm trying to think of when's the last time a jump like that happened. I need to do a deep dive on that. And
Colorado.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, offensively probably Colorado. Right, the year
Livingston
before Prime.
Livingston last year was a big.
He did.
Jump.
You're right. From 130 to what 50. You're right.
It's
You're
what
right.
it needs to be.
Yeah.
They need to be opportunistic because we know they're going to score offensively. If they can just be solid defensively, they should be a contender.
Yeah. And I think they will be. I mean, there's no way this team doesn't make a bowl. And I know we're going to go through the schedule, but I'm just saying, there's just no way. Let's. I mean, this is talking about the staff, the players, all part of the state of the program, which we talk about, and also is the stadium. And I saw Daquan, you're sleeping on this one, man.
It's a good one.
Oh man, I went to the stadium in October, right?
I've been there so many times.
But they threw money in it recently.
Yeah.
Like I said, all of a sudden, Texas Tech, whether it's Cody Campbell, whether it's the other alums that are super rich, they threw money. See, it's a classic stadium, but they threw a bunch of money into it to keep it classic. And man, I'm telling you, Mac, I was blown away when I showed up there. I'm giving this thing a 9 of 10. And you can make a case. You can make a case. Like when I went there, I was with my wife, man, right? And I was like, you could ask her, and you're like, you know, Kobe was blown away by this fucking stadium in Lubbock, Texas. She doesn't even know it's the Red Raiders or anything, but I was legit blown away by the venue. I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I was like, look at this thing. 78 years young.
Look at Lubbock.
Yeah. Good old Lubbock, Texas, man. This is a great stadium, though, man. And they have done great work getting this. Look at this. That's all new. But they make it look old. This is what I'm saying. It's like the baseball shit. Why is the Padres Stadium awesome? And they made it look like an old school stadium. They paid homage to it. Jones Stadium is an old stadium. They did not have this though before a bunch of money came in there, and it looks awesome. It's a flawless fucking stadium to me. I mean, look at this. Look at this. And if you were to look at this thing like 20 years ago, it did not look like this, or 10 years ago probably. This is recent money coming in to make this stadium awesome. Mac, what do you give this thing 1 to 10?
Dude, I was going to say, like, the last time I was there was 22. They didn't have that part in the end zone, I don't think.
That's what I'm saying, dude. And that's a bunch of money that's come in. And I'm going to show you also.
Should I give it a 10?
Yeah, you should. You probably should. Look, that's what it used to be. That's what it used to be right there.
Yeah, I mean, their basketball rate is off the charts, too. That place gets fucking rowdy. And they're duplicating it on the football field now, too. And it's it was like that with Leach, but like it went away for a little bit when they had some average ass years with Tuberville and stuff. But yeah, I mean, dude, they do it right there, man. They care. Bravo
to them. Like the recent money they've thrown in, and the fact they have the awareness not to make it look like some bullshit NFL stadium or something. Like the fact they're like, hey, we have to make this. We have to keep the classic feel because this is Jones Stadium. All of our greats have played there. This shit is awesome, though, dude. And I'm gonna show you some other photos too. You're gonna be blown away by this shit. The football facility is phenomenal, man. Like I would put it up with anyone in college football that I've ever seen. And I've been to A&Ms. They've shown me. Look, you see the outside though. You see how they keep it classic with the old. You look at the bottom of that picture. I love that shit. They're keeping it classic. That's what all the old stadiums look like back in the day. Let's dive into what I'm talking about, though. Their facilities look incredible, dude. Look at this shit. This is brand new. This shit is not even a year old yet. This thing, dude, who would not want to play at at Texas Tech?
Dude, I'm telling you, Lubbock's fun. Lubbock's unique, man. It's got its own identity out there, West Texas.
Dude, I was blown away by this. Like I've talked to a bunch of other people that cover college football when I've been at the media days, This was like a talking point. This was like a talking point of like how amazing Texas Tech has turned their facilities into. It is incredible what they're doing here. And like I said, I was a guest at the University of Texas A&M, 2 years ago, I think 3 years ago. And I was blown away by that, but this is on the same level, if not better. Like, to me, it's right there. And to me, that says enough right there. It's like, holy shit, look at this. Look at these places, man. Like, this is incredible what they got going here. But that's what happens when you have a bunch of billionaire, was it oil money or energy, clean energy? I forget.
Their AD Kirby Hokut's done a great job. I mean, he's really gathered the troops to pony up.
Trick or treat. Cody Campbell is one of the big boosters. He played for Mike Leach. I believe he was an offensive lineman for Mike Leach, and he is a billionaire, I believe. Quickly pull that up, Mac, if you can.
I
am. Yeah, I'm with GBO Farms. If Leach had these facilities, they would have won multiple natties. They're not fucking around, man. That's what's it. Okay, if you watch the sport from a bird's eye view, which hopefully, I'm assuming some of our fans are like that. Don't you just find this fascinating? Like, A&M had gone to the SEC first, right? And this is like an age-old tale within the state. But A&M goes to the SEC. They start to get the shine. They start to out-recruit Texas because of whether it's the SEC money trickling down or whatever your theories are, right? Maybe it's their boosters. Who knows? Texas then pivots, goes to the SEC, almost destroys the fucking conference, pisses off all these teams, right? SMU then pays for free to join the ACC, go to the playoffs in year run. They're throwing a shit ton of money. TCU's done. They're no slouch. TCU and Baylor, no slouch. Houston gets invited to the group to the Power 5 or 4, whatever you're gonna say. And then Texas Tech's like, oh, SMU checkmate, motherfucker. This is so fun to watch, in my opinion. It's fascinating to watch.
Cody Campbell sold his oil and natural gas company in February for $4.1 billion. Yeah, good luck, Longhorns, you little cute little horns.
Good God, man. And he played for Mike Leach.
Yeah, he played for Leach.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I mean, you have my attention. I love watching and storm the field. That's what they do in Lubbock. They storm the field when they score a big win, as anyone should do. GBO Farms, I know you know that. Take me to the river. Take those damn goalposts to the river. That is part of the college experience. If you're going to pay a ridiculous tuition, you're going to pay for some books that are like $500, you bastards ripping us off, then it is your right, it is your privilege to storm the damn field, all right? And you'll have that memory for the rest of your life. So do not listen to Greg Sankey's bullshit. What up, Mac?
That's probably one of the 10 times out of the last 12 times Texas has gone to Lubbock and got the field stormed on them. The Longhorns never won in Lubbock. They always got their ass beat there.
That was a tough spot for them. Man, so program on the rise. Look, I should probably give this a 10. I just want to see more than 7 or 8 wins to fully commit to 10. But I can tell you this, with Cody Campbell's money, it should probably be a 10.
It should be, but they need to win on the field. The target's on their back now, so they need to put their money where their mouth is and deliver now.
Yeah. Chat's having a good time. Come be a part of the chat. YouTube.com/the college experience. Yeah, look. So the Big Lubbock says these are some of their, not only Cody Campbell, John Sellers, Dusty Womble, and Peterson, an oil guy in Houston. This is great. I fucking love it. Big Lubbock. This is so great. This is why, I don't care what the NFL does. You'll never be this. This is so great. I watched the Big 12 media today, and it's funny, they did a coach's round table. And they're like, yeah, well, we don't want it where the biggest boosters are. I'm like, well, good luck. That's the sport, dude. You're not going to be able to prevent this.
Tech's like we do.
Well, no, I'm saying even if they do put a cap on this thing, which they 6 of these coaches were saying, we need a cap, we need rules. And I'm like, and then stiff penalties. I'm like, we have 140 years of fucking proof. All right. What is it? since 1869 or 68, whatever year it was, this has been the blueprint of college football. It's like, hey, oh, guess what? Yale's spending this much money, and Harvard goes, hey, guess what? Fuck that. We're spending more money. We're going to beat them on the field, right? And this happened throughout pockets all through America. You don't think North Dakota State and South Dakota State are doing this thing over the past 5 years? It's happening. That's why the sport is the best. Anybody can join the party. There are no rules and regulations. And it's fascinating. I find the Texas thing right now absolutely fascinating with all these schools. Even Texas State going to the Pac-12 and UTSA starting their program from nothing. The arms race is amazing to watch. What do you give this thing 1 to 10?
I think 9's fair. Got to win it on the field. Still got to win it on the field. But I mean, the intangibles are a 10. I mean, the funding is definitely an 11.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. Yeah. And the chat's saying, why doesn't Harvard do this? I've been wondering that for a long time, but they did it back in the day. I've read some stuff in the early days of college football, like the Harvard-Yale rivalry. They were doing, I mean, it wasn't that much money, but it was like they were doing that. It was like an arms race within those two schools. So it's happened everywhere. It's the heart. To me, it's like that is college football. You can try to police it all you want. If you try to police it, they'll still be able to do it under the table. Good luck. There's not enough administrators to police, this many schools. Cash is cash. You can still meet anybody in a parking lot, and they can give you cash. If you make these rules, that's what's going to happen. To me, what's wrong with free market, open market? I think that's what it should be. All right, let's talk about the schedule. But before we do that, I want to let you know that the college football experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million in first place. There's no waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best Ball is the best way to play fantasy football. So sign up, and when you do, use our promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Yes, you've probably heard me talk about Rhythm before. They just dropped a new game-changing feature called Power Trends. Yes, these are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a very high ROI. Think like a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm and Rhythm only. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets, baby. Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. You know we will be. Get your free 7-day trial period today. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. All right, we are back. Shout out to the chat, Cody Frazier, Robert Martin. Yeah, I mean, come be a part of it. Talk about it. Let us know what you're thinking about the boys in Lubbock, because even if you're not a Texas Tech fan, you got to admit. I feel like everyone's sitting there, like them stealing Texas and A&M's players. You got to admit they have to be. Their alums are probably like, "What the fuck." Like that hasn't happened. I mean, maybe SMU did that in the 80s, but now you have just multiple people multiple schools coming at you from different angles. It's perfect. It's awesome. Let's jump into the schedule.
Let's do it, baby.
Week 1. This is a horrible game, by the way. We talked Colorado last night, and I'm just going to use this as an example. Colorado or even Wisconsin. Wisconsin didn't have an FCS. Colorado didn't have an FCS. Colorado has Delaware, which is coming up from the FCS, week 2. But Delaware is like a real team. Delaware's, won national championships in the FCS level and been really good over the past 40 years. They probably should have jumped up like 15 years ago, in my opinion. But Arkansas Pine Bluff's terrible. I would love to see it. I'm saying they are terrible within the FCS. So I would love to why. This is why the committee should pay attention to these things, because Delaware is much more losable. Even if Texas Tech played Delaware, it is a much more losable game than Arkansas Pine Bluff. Like I would lay if Delaware plays Pine Bluff, I'm laying 31. Right? This is gonna be a bloodbath, dude. Games like this should not be on the fucking. I know
Dangerous.
it helps fund APB, but this is a really bad game.
Is Dr. Bradley playing for APB?
He transferred. My boy Doc Bradley transferred to Bethune-Cookman, man. But this one is really bad. This is a really bad game. This might be the worst. I cover the FCS and the FBS. There is a shot that this is the worst game on the schedule for the entire week one. That includes FCS taking on D2 schools. Long Island and Florida's up there. But this, at least there's a little regionality with this. But this is going to be a bloodbath. 1-0.
They must have got the football basketball package because they played Arkansas Pine Bluff in basketball and beat them by 44. So yeah, it's going to be similar on the football field, but even more. Yeah, 1-0.
Are you ready for it to get even worse?
Oh, this is hilarious. This next game.
Kent State, I have ranked out of the FBS teams. I have my power rankings. I have them ranked 136th out of 136 with a pretty big gap.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Their sitting defensive coordinator just left for a positions coach in the FCS. I repeat, their sitting defensive coordinator just left for a position coach spot in the FCS. So that means the position coach spot must be paying better than the DC spot, I would assume. This game is horrible, too. Now, this is not Texas Tech's fault, probably, because Kent State, they made a bowl a couple years ago. You probably put that shit on the schedule a couple years ago. But I'm just saying, these first two opponents, the committee should pay attention to this because, once again, if Delaware plays Kent State or Miami, Ohio, who Wisconsin plays Kent State, I'll lay a pretty big number. Both, they're going to start off, they're going to have incredible momentum, dude, because they're paying all this money, and I bet you the combined scores, they're going to win by 50 or more the first 2 weeks.
You know, those big money guys know the number too, so they're going to cover both games as well. They're going to win like 90-0 and 80-0.
Yeah. Then you come out of that, and you take out Oregon State in Lubbock. This is going to be hilarious because we're going to have no idea how good Texas Tech is. And Oregon State actually plays a couple decent teams. So assuming if Oregon State was undefeated, like this game could be kind of tricky because they might be a live dog because you'll have no idea really how good Texas Tech is by those first two opponents. I will take Texas Tech to get that win though. 3-0. What are you doing here?
Yeah, this is the first road spot for the Beavs. I mean, they got Cal and Fresno at home to start, and they got the Civil War on deck. This place is gonna be rocking for the Beavs. I think they're walking into a hornet's nest. I think Tech blows them out, to be honest.
Yeah, you're probably right. Oregon State's one that I'm intrigued by. That week one matchup against Cal, I find one of the more interesting games of week one.
Malik Murphy.
Yeah, I mean he's
all right.
He has moments. I was watching we're doing Duke after this. Duke is the next team we talk about tonight in our doubleheader. So I threw on some games, and there are moments where he looks really good. There's also moments where he looks terrible.
Like transferring in the middle of the college football playoff.
Yeah. That from Texas, that is. But that's the youth. What's a team? All right. Anyway, 3-0. We're both at 3-0.
Let's go.
Then they head to Salt Lake City, and I feel like now we find out.
Yeah.
Now the good news is it's not going to be cold, most likely, because this is still September, I believe, September 20th. Yeah. Very lucky for them and their air raid offense not to go up there in November. Yeah, in that regard, but they're going to lose this game. I'll take Utah. I think Utah's identity, anytime they're at right, they could play the goddamn Philadelphia Eagles at Rice Eccles, and I'm taking the Utes as long as they have a healthy quarterback.
Yeah.
Series goes back to 1972, 3-1. What are you doing here?
Yeah, this is Tech's first trip out there. Yeah, I don't bet against the Utes out there. Unless they're on their fourth string quarterback. So yeah, 3-1, headed into bye. Yeah.
They go to that bye week. Look at Coach Leach there. May he rest easy. Our guy, hell of a good guy. They come out of that bye week and they head to Houston, Texas to take on Willie Fritz. Let me tell you, man.
This is a tricky game for
I'm telling you, like, now I do think, like I said last night for the Colorado preview, I believe Houston is going to be a good team this year. And it's funny, I was talking with Tim Murray today on the VSiN podcast for college football. Check it out. I was a guest on their show, but you know, we were making the case off air, and I think on air that I wouldn't be surprised if Houston, and we talked about it on the SGP Big 12 preview as well. Like, I think Houston could be a player in the conference this year. I really think. Now, I am a little skeptical of them in September, but this is when? This is still September, right? This is this is October 4th.
Yeah.
I'll give it to Tech. Give me a win for Tech, but I don't feel amazing about it.
Yeah, I got Tech. They're off the bye, and if they take their first loss, regroup, get those guys ready to go, and I think they'll have a shitload of Red Raider fans in Houston too. So like, this will not be really a true road game.
Yeah. So 4-1. Then they host the Kansas Jayhawks and Lance Leipold. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how anyone feels confident that Texas Tech. The series goes back to 1933. This is a fucking game, dude. I have no idea who wins this game. Because it's in Lubbock, I guess I'll give Texas Tech the slight edge. But I think there's a huge coaching edge with Kansas, in my opinion. I'll take Texas Tech, but I'm a skeptic. Like, between this and the Houston game, they could have a second loss here.
I got to beat in Kansas just because the game's in Lubbock. Last time they played a couple years ago, game came down to the wire. Tech kicked the walk-off field goal. So I think they get him in Lubbock. I think that crowd's too much for Jalen Daniels.
So we're both at what was that 5-1? We have 5-1.
Yep.
Then they head to Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona, and if they're 5-1, will lose this game. Sam Levitt and company get them. Series goes back to 1999. So give me that second loss of the season right here in Sun Devil Stadium. How about you?
Yeah, this was the only Big 12, or actually this was the only loss for Arizona State with Sam Levitt healthy last year. It was in Lubbock. It was a one-possession game. Give me the revenge. Sun Devils, so 5-2 after 7.
Yeah, we're seeing eye to eye here a lot.
Home teams in the Big 12. It's usually the way it goes.
And then Mike Gundy and his roster of unknowns. What was George Allen? Was that the no-name defense? Who am I thinking of? Who's the no-name defense? Is that George Allen and the Redskins? I can't remember. Someone in the 70s was the no-name defense. I honestly have no idea what the fuck to expect out of Oklahoma State, so give me Texas Tech. The Big 12 has Colorado, Oklahoma State, and West Virginia, and UCF, which I have no fucking idea how any of those teams are going to look.
Yeah,
like zero. They have more mystery teams than any other conference.
Yeah.
Who you taking here?
I got to take Tech. We already did Oklahoma State. We both took Tech. No reason to Benedict here.
Yeah. Then that's 6-2. Then they head to Bill Snyder Family Stadium, take on Avery Johnson. What you got to do is you got to make shots. Take on Kansas State. This is a loss, and this will probably be cold too, right? This is November. Yeah. Yeah, that's a loss. Kansas State gets them. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'd be curious when the last time they won in Manhattan. Same logic as Utah. I don't bet against K-State in the Little Apple.
Although Arizona State did get him last year, but besides that, yeah, that's when I feel like
yeah,
that's when we all knew that Arizona State was like, whoa,
yeah,
yeah.
it was, but that's like their only loss at home in like 2 or 3 years, I think, other than Farmageddon, the crazy snow game. Yeah, I'm on K-State.
I'm on K-State as well. They've also thrown in a bunch of money. They're going all in. Now, it's not the same amount of money as Texas Tech, but they've put together, you can tell when we preview them. Go listen to our episode. They went all in for their standards, and I love it. Yeah, so there's a loss. And then Kalani Sitake and BYU come to town. He sounded pretty confident. No Retzlaff. He said, no problem. This series goes back to 1940. I will take Texas Tech, though.
Hey, I love Sitake. I love the confidence. I will fade BYU away from Provo. Give me Texas Tech.
Well, it's just a classic defensive guy.
Yeah.
I don't need no fucking quarterback. I kind of love it. He's like, Retzlaff. I didn't know his fucking name. Who cares, right?
He banged
We're going to play hard defense. We're going to, hard-nosed defense. We're going to be there in some games. Yeah, so what does it put us at right now?
Yeah, we're gonna agree on every game on this one. It's the home games, and then we are 7-3.
7-3. Then Scott Frost and UCF come to town. I will say they might be decent by November.
He was talking today.
Of course, he was talking today. Making shots fired at Nebraska. I like this divorce. All right, I like seeing this divorce. Yeah, I'll take Texas Tech. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm not taking UCF in West Texas late in the year. 8-3 comes down to the finale for the win total and maybe the birth of the Big 12.
But 8-3, but all three of those losses are in conference.
True,
because their non-con. Yeah,
the road slate is brutal.
They get a bye week. Shout out to Sonny Dykes' father, Spike Dykes. There he is. And they head to West Virginia. Series goes back to 1938. This is such a hilarious game. If you go listen to our West Virginia preview, I was all over this. I know you were too, but like, this is the perfect spot. So I've watched Rich Rodriguez do this at many schools, right? How many different schools have we seen Rich Rod do this at? I've seen him do it at Tulane. I've seen him do it at Clemson. The only spot he didn't do it was Michigan. Michigan year one. I'm saying year one. But normally by November, they catch the rhythm of that offense. But also, this is like November 30th or some shit. This trip is horrible for Texas Tech. You're going to go to Morgantown, West Virginia on November 30th. It's probably going to be like sleeting, ice or some shit. You're trying to run your little foo-foo passing offense. No way. West Virginia's going to fuck them up. This is the upset, though, because Texas Tech will be a big favorite here. I will be taking the money line on West Virginia. This is exactly – I've done this. I mean, I don't want to say this doesn't matter as far as the temperatures, but Syracuse-Miami game last year. I was all over Syracuse in the preseason. I said they're going to Miami. Cristobal is going to go there, and if they win that game, then go to the ACC championship. But they're going to lose that game. And I've caught it a couple times. Like I think Miami had Pitt. This is that one that I don't see them winning this game. You said the same, right?
Yes, we're going to spoil their season. And remember, they beat the absolute brakes off the Mountaineers. Fired Neil Brown last year to hire Rich Rod. Well, here's your present. Rich Rod spoils the year. Tech.
They storm the field here.
Yeah, maybe.
If they're top 25, would they storm? I think so.
Tech's probably going to be higher than top 25.
You mean if they're 9-3 or 8-3?
8-3. They probably got to be like a top 10 for field storming in Morgantown.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that puts us at what, 8-4?
8-4. Solid year, but not good enough for their standards right now.
The win total is sitting at 8.5. They're plus 650 to win the Big 12, plus 520 to make the college football playoff, and plus 12,000 to win it all. Look at this road schedule here. At Utah, bye week at Houston, at Arizona State, at Kansas State, and at West Virginia, when Rich Rod will probably have that thing. That'll be the best version of West Virginia, week 14. I even think they could lose the Houston game, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the under. I feel pretty decent about it. Like, I gave them Houston, Kansas, BYU. Like, BYU does win in some random places. You know what I mean? They won at SMU last year. So, I mean, I know Texas Tech's a different, like a tougher environment, but yeah, I feel pretty decent about it. I mean, what's the ceiling here? 10-2?
10-2 with what? Losses at Utah and K-State, and they get the one in Tempe?
I think the ceiling's 9-3 personally.
Maybe they could get one of those three between Utah, K-State, and Arizona State. Maybe, just because of their talent level. But, I mean, dude, those are hard. Those are talented ass. Those are the top three teams in the odds, along with Texas Tech. And then I know the chat is they're going to call us crazy for taking West Virginia. Morgantown's a hard-ass place to win, especially in
It's that strange-ass trip, too, from Lubbock to fucking Morgantown.
Yeah.
On November 30th. You know how cold it's going to be?
Yeah. Yeah. Ask Tech how it went with their hype team 2 years ago when they came to Morgantown. They lost. Morgantown's hard to win at. Yeah. I think 10-2 is the absolute ceiling. Floor 6-6. It's a big.
All right. So the floor 10-2, the ceiling. Floor. What they lose every road game. That would be 5 games. And then someone get, I mean, 7-5, 6-6, 6-6 maybe is the floor. The absolute worst scenario.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this though: what would get Joey McGuire fired if he goes 8-5 again? Does he get fired?
What if he goes 8-4, then wins the bowl game?
I don't think he should be fired then.
I don't either.
Yeah. It's tricky. It's a little tricky. They're going to be fast. Short of the first 2 weeks where I probably won't watch any of those 2 games. But week 3, I'll start watching Texas Tech football. Each week from there on, it's going to be must watch. So, yeah. Can't wait. I'm not going to lock it though. Damn it. I might lock it, dude. Like there's a lot. And another thing is like, think about these things. BYU has an unknown with quarterback right now, but by week 11, they're going to figure that shit out. BYU will figure out that quarterback play at BYU is never terrible. Then like UCF and West Virginia are like kind of similar teams. They're both, like Scott Frost has a speed option shit too. I think you're getting those teams at the worst possible times. Now, of course, it's in Lubbock, but I'm just saying, like, it's still like they're going to be the best versions of themselves that entire year. Then 2 first-year coaches. I feel very good. I may lock this on our locks episode in August, but yeah.
It also goes back to my zigzag theory on the Big 12. When you're predicted to be good, you underachieve. When everybody says you're going to suck, you usually overachieve by a game or 2. It's a everybody meets at the mean type league. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, look, and I know they went out and bought the roster, so it makes it even harder because all these guys we haven't seen there. But I'm just saying, like, this is a team that last year beat Abilene Christian by 1. Washington State beat them by 21 points, right? They beat Arizona. Texas Tech beat Arizona by 6 points. All right. They gave up 59 to Baylor. Are you telling me that they're going to make this big of a jump? It's possible because the transfer portal's, available, but we're asking them to make a gigantic jump.
Yeah.
To go 10-2 or something. Well, I'm sorry, 9-3. It's only 1 game from a year ago. But I still think, gosh, schedule, the road spots are all brutal. Houston is the only spot that's not super lit. Utah is insane. Sun Devil Stadium is insane. K-State's insane. West Virginia, all those environments are awesome. So they're hard places to win.
another note, we highlighted at the beginning of the episode, McGuire has a track record of dropping games he shouldn't. And just because they spent more money on the roster doesn't mean that that's just going to go away. So they have a bigger target on their back this year. I think 8-4 is where they finish.
I like Joey McGuire, so I think it would be awesome. It would be like, don't get me wrong. I think some people think because I take the under on teams that I'm hating on them. I mean, with the exception of what you guys did to Coach Leach, I've always been a fan of Texas Tech. Back to the days of fucking, Billy Joe Tolliver. But I think it'd be a breath of fresh air if they went 12-0 or something. I think it'd be incredible for the sport. I'd be one of the biggest fans on here saying, let's go. But I feel pretty good about the under, man. You're not locking this, right?
I think I'm going to stay away just because of the variance in this league. I may be swayed by the end. I don't see 9-3. I see 8-4, maybe 7-5. That's what he's been.
Yeah, and I think the schedule is a little harder than the previous years, believe it or not. Even though the non-con is nicer, the conference schedule I think is harder. Folks, we will be back in about 5 minutes talking Duke Blue Devil football. I have a nice slideshow for all you Texas Tech fans right now. We're going to tune into the history of Texas Tech Red Raider football. Give Moneyline Mac a follow on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. I'm on Twitter at TheColBD. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. And don't forget, we're breaking down every single team in the land. Duke is later tonight. Tomorrow, we are talking Northwestern Wildcats in Coastal Carolina. So buckle up. Put them in a randomizer. So that's if you're wondering how the teams are going. We just put them in a randomizer, and that's why we've been just going through all these damn teams. So next time, this is the College Football Experience, Red Raider style. Cody Campbell, you have my attention, good sir. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Thumbs up.
Mailbox 1. You have 7 messages. 1.
I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart my body and soul, or nothing without heart. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun my body and soul, or nothing without love. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo my body and soul, or nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. We're the obsession to be a part of that, started that. Mind over matter don't matter in the market. I've seen much smarter cats have heart attacks, largely because leaders need lambs to be lethargic. Match wits with the half-wit phantom. I don't need jumper cables or mic cords to analyze an analytical anthem. Between my two ears, an engine pumping the life force. Force field for your grip on the grievance. Still gonna feel unchallenged and bored stiff. So arrange the pieces to appear cohesive. All the hard work will go largely ignored if your hands are covered with post-its and paper cuts. You need to have your voice in the vice grip. The one who made it famous ain't the one who made it up. You don't get overtime just for working the night shift. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart my body and soul, or nothing without heart. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun my body and soul, or nothing without love. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo my body and soul, or nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. Every time I close my eyes, I'm taken to the same place, a playing field, and every contestant's got the game face. Everybody's yelling, you ought to play it safe. Make sure them shoes are tied and ankles taped. Shake the cobweb, hit the ground running. This is how cunning I can get with the footwork. You're doing it right, well, it shouldn't hurt. Flirt with greatness, still I run the famous. Nice high heels, I got mics for spikes. Trampling the home team, man, they're turf for life. For the few fleet of foot, too fast for me. I fear none, cause I run and ignore the pin. Of feet by the tree, that are fast asleep. In love with the game, you adore the head. I believe in achievement. My soul isn't rewarded just cause it's easy goal and moves toward it. I'm not saying saying I'm impossible to outsmart. Mind, body, and soul, and nothing without heart. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun. Mind, body, and soul, and nothing without love. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo. Mind, body, and soul, and nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. Conspiracy theories, gotta love them clearly. Nothing's more entertaining than entertaining a query. Just the words of the wise and the weary. Recognize the authors of reality and theory. Theoretically, I could have won Scribble Jam. In reality, I lost to a legend. Theoretically, I'm best friends with Uncle Sam. In reality, I've never even met him. Now, one day my potential may become reputation. Until then, I'm still a work in progress. I suggest you question what I'm saying. If anything, to become familiar with the process. My agenda may suit your needs. When I say your bill of rights has been ripped to shreds, but if it defends what you believe, hold ear to your truths and scream fuck seeds. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart. Mind, body, and soul, and nothing without heart. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun. Mind, body, and soul, and nothing without love. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo. Mind, body, and soul, and nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself.